Hey everyone, I'm John. Thank you for joining us at Humble Shooting and Self-Defense. Because this is a shooting-based channel, I want to help set you up with the successful tools for safe and efficient range time. That means having a good range bag. Back when I started shooting, I used Kroger bags, I used cardboard boxes, I had a milk crate for a while, finally saved up, bought a nice Midway USA range bag with a nice plastic bottom to keep it off the mud and things like that. Then somebody had to borrow it from me and use it as a stand holder on a windy day so their target stand wouldn't fall over. Then they decided to shoot a long gun from the hip, and that kind of destroyed my range bag. So I got this a few years ago to upgrade, and when I had it, I was using it for several things. One, going and taking classes, which could be on an indoor or outdoor range. For my own practice, which at the time was exclusively outdoors, and then for teaching, and the range I had to teach on at the time was primarily outdoors as well. These days, I only use it for traveling to classes, which could be indoor or outdoor. Most of the time that I teach, I do so on either a range that pretty well furnishes everything for me, or I'm on a nice indoor range like here at Next Level Ranges. This is their very nice members lounge. So teaching isn't really what this bag is based around. It's around taking classes or just doing some training if I happen to be away from here. I keep a locker here with all my important practice stuff in it. So this only leaves the house when I'm going to take a class. Let's start by showing you a little bit about the bag itself and how I set it up. This is the GPS Tactical Range Bag. It's a backpack style. It's been a very well-built, solid construction bag that in probably 6-7 years, I haven't managed to break yet. Not a single stitch or seam has come apart, no broken zippers. It just keeps on working, and I'll let you know later on if I manage to destroy it. But the bag itself is a backpack style, so it has a couple very thick padded shoulder straps, which is great when you're carrying it when it's loaded down. It has a chest strap. I can't tell you about it. I've never used it. I don't carry the bag that far. The most I'll do is from range to range on a multi-stage match or something like that. It has a hip pack belt. The only adjustment to this bag that I would make is I would want this removable. It's a big padded hip belt, and that would be great if I were carrying it like a hiking pack, but I'm not. Whenever I'm using this bag, I've got a handgun and probably some other stuff around my waist, and this just gets in the way. So I wish that that would be removed. I've almost cut it off. I just haven't yet. Big breathable mesh area on the back for comfort. One thing that they saw in advance for people who shoot outdoors like me, it has a big rain cover built into it, and that does a good job of keeping things dry when I'm on that outdoor range and there's no good cover around. On the side, first, because I was born lucky, I always wear glasses, but because you should always wear shooting glasses when you're out. These are prescription clear lenses. There's a hook and loop area on it, as well as MOLLE on the side. I keep my hearing protection here. Moving around to the front, first, I've just got my name on it. There have been other bags like this that show up and it just keeps somebody from grabbing my bag. I've got a patch for Practical Firearms Training. They're in Alderson, West Virginia. You can check them out at pgpft.com. Definitely one of my favorite places to shoot and teach and train. They're in Alderson, and so if you're in the eastern West Virginia, the western Virginia area, you definitely got to check them out. And then Fortitude Consulting, that's Gil Navarez. He's out of North Carolina, another great instructor who I'm happy to throw some business to. On the front down here, I keep my Leatherman Surge multi-tool. Used to carry it every day, but it got to be a little beefy. Now I carry a Leatherman Wave, but it's still a great multi-tool, so I leave it there. I want my trauma kit on the outside where it's visible. My preference is I've got a little belt clip on it, and I'll put it with me on the line. If I say maybe it's a day where I've got my tourniquet attached to my holster and my pockets are filled with my other med gear, I might not put it on, but if it's needed, I want someone else to be able to see it very easily. And then over here, shooting is one of the few times that I actually prefer to use disposable water bottles. So I just have this water bottle holder, and I keep disposable water bottles in it because the reusable water bottles, as I'm shooting, my hands are getting filled with lead particles, and I don't want to keep touching a reusable water bottle. So this is one of the few times that I prefer to just have disposable water bottles, and they stay right there. Let's start going pouch by pouch and show you what I keep inside. I've got a golf towel kind of hanging here, and that kind of semi-covers this pouch, but it's easy to push out of the way. They label a lot of the pockets for organization, and sometimes I actually follow that. This is one of those cases. It's labeled with a stapler, and that's what's in here. In an Altoids tin, that's where I prefer to keep my extra staples. In the half stick configuration, it's easier to just make sure my stapler is plussed up and fully loaded when I can, and the metal tin keeps it from fracturing the staples and ending up with a staple confetti. I do keep that Arrow stapler. Not one, but two sticky notes. This is just a rapid target, something to easily post up on a backer and shoot and then remove. A lot easier than dealing with staples. The adhesive is nice. I keep a big handful of 3x5 index cards. One, write things down. This is what I did. This is what I need to work on. Maybe exchange information with somebody. But the 3x5 is used as a target metric by a lot of different skills and qualifications out there. So I keep a bunch of those handy. And then some of the peel and stick, shoot and see birchwood cases with pasters, and some quick target spots just in case I need something more visible at a distance. In this outermost pocket, it says it's for tape, and that's what I put in. Most of it's repair tape, some of it's target tape. I've got a set of flat fold duct tape, some Gorilla tape, electrical tape, and some masking tape, and this is mainly for target repair. The top frontmost pouch, that's my suppressors pouch. I keep my ablative substance to keep my silencers running cool and a little bit cleaner. A pipette so that I can distribute that solution all the way through it. My silencer shop mitt. Sometimes they'll give you these, sometimes you buy them, but they're indispensable when handling hot stuff. And then I keep a strap wrench. Eventually, you shoot suppressors long enough, one will not have been maintained well or put on hot onto a cold gun or vice versa, and it's going to want to get stuck, and a strap wrench is handy for getting stuff off. The next front pouch, kind of the biggest of the front, there's a lot in here. One is a whistle. This one's by Fox 40. It's in case I need to do something RSO, range safety officer type stuff where I use a whistle, or perhaps there are sometimes I need to call a course of fire that goes off an audible signal and maybe my shot timer broke. I've never actually used it, but I leave it in there because it seems like a good idea. Over here, even though it's marked for glasses, that's where I keep my rangefinder. Two different areas labeled for hearing protection. The first one is a bunch of disposable foamies. That's for other people who forget their hearing protection. Beneath that, I keep the Surefire Defender hearing protection. These are on a lanyard so I don't lose them. But as far as reusable hearing protection that isn't over ear but in ear, these are probably my favorite. And over here is where I keep my shot timer. If you're not measuring what you do on the range, how do you know if you're growing? In here, this is my snivel gear. This is all my health and comfort and hygiene stuff. Now let me do a breakdown and show you what's inside. And here's what I keep in that Ziploc bag of comfort and snivel gear. A Ziploc bag of more Ziploc bags. That's just to keep my notes or my phone dry if I get caught in the rain. A little boo-boo kit with Band-Aids and burn cream and alcohol pads. Some medicines that are over the counter like acetaminophen, ibuprofen, antidiarrheal, some Tums. Got some tweezers in case of a splinter. New Skin liquid bandage spray. This is probably what I use the most. Just a little spray on an area that's getting to you, and it'll dry after a minute or so, and then it'll continue to move with your hands, unlike a Band-Aid. So sometimes I'll break that out, and after somebody sees me use it, they'll want it, and then somebody else will want it. So you can be an MVP with some of that. I've got some pistol belt keepers in case the class I'm taking is for work. Some extra tissues. Some Lead Be Gone by Hoppies. Those are just getting lead off of your hands if I can't get to soap and running water. Some cat crap, forgive the name, but this is an anti-fog solution for glasses. Again, because I was born lucky, or just because everyone should be using protective lenses when they're shooting. Some lens wipes, and of course, a little chapstick. The bottommost pouch on the front, I took the med kit off just so it'll lay a little flatter and you can see what's inside. This is kind of my admin area. First thing you'll notice, lots of pens and markers, marking targets, filling out waivers, exchanging information, taking notes. What did I do? What do I need to work on? There's an admin component to shooting for sure. After that are the tinted version of my safety glasses. A bunch of batteries, that's for my Aimpoint Pro. I've got a bunch of the coin style batteries, some double and triple A's. This one is 18650 and 123 batteries. And then always a couple 9-volt batteries. Those are for your shot timer. a notebook to write everything down on. And then back here, something I made a few years ago. I wanted to spend as much time being productive on the range as possible. It took me one trip to show up to the range and say, what do I want to do? If the answer is just turn money into noise, you can, but I would like to be a little more careful with my money. So this is a set of drill cards that I made with various drills from around the internet. There's the Advanced Carbine drill. That one's the CSAT 107. There's the Rune Nation Cold Start drill, the BCM 555 drill. All the green are for tack rifle. All the red are for shotgun. All the light blue are for precision rifle. And then all of the light yellow here are for handgunning. I also have a few here with some housekeeping stuff. Start a class, make sure I talk about these things. These are the rules of firearms safety, and then some housekeeping for opening and shutting down certain ranges that I use if I'm a guest there. A bunch of drills in here like the FBI qualification, the 2.662 pistol quals, some revolver quals, just things that I can do that have a measurable effect. And then on these white cards, these are things that are helpful for showing other people. Here's a picture of 3 different types of sight picture. Does your gun work off of the mechanical edge of the sights, or does it use the dots to reference where the bullet's going to impact? I want things in here like talking about the drop of bullets out of the long-range rifle. I want to show that sight picture. I want to show that sight picture. I've also got here one of my favorites to use if I'm on a good relationship with that student. I'll show that pain range scale, and I'll say, when you missed that shot a little while ago, did it hurt this much or this much? That's only for the students I'm on good terms with. Sometimes I'll look at my students if I mess something up and I'll say, missing that shot in front of you, that hurt that much. That's what's in this pouch. In this upper pouch that's behind the water bottle, I have a cold weather set. Let me break that one down for you up close. This pistol case came with the bag. It can hold a couple pistols, several magazines, but what I use it for is something I'm not proud of. I've gotten caught out in the cold uncomfortably more than once, and it did affect my experience. So in it, I keep first a bunch of chemical hand warmers, a spare toboggan. This one happens to be a Beretta, a puffy jacket packed down, and a set of gloves. In this side's lower compartment, first kind of falling out, chalkless grip enhancer. I actually have a discount code for this stuff. It's in the description down below. Save yourself 10% on everything from chalkless and get free shipping. Great for working on outdoor ranges, especially when there's high humidity. Also in here, first I want to show, this is just a dummy pistol. This is the Mantis Titan X for the Glock 19 size. It's a handy training tool. I don't always know who or what I'll be working with, and maybe you just want to get in some good dry reps without using ammo to warm up. So that stays in there. Also could hold a full-size handgun or 2 in there in this configuration. On this side, I keep a real avid AR-15 tool. It's got a castle nut wrench, a forearm takedown tool. It's got removable and replaceable heads that I can screw in here and use as a hammer. And it's just good when I'm working with rifles or need to drive in a tent stake. Speaking of tent stakes on this side, I'll pull one out. I have about a dozen tent stakes. Why? This was a lesson learned the hard way when someone used my old range bag to weigh down their target stand on a windy day. So now I'll drive these into the ground through the holes that are in my target stands so that I don't have to buy another range bag. And I keep about a dozen in there. Above that on the side, I have several large black trash bags. We are stewards of the shooting community. Leave ranges nicer than you find them. 1, always pack out your own trash. But 2, if you see that their trash can's overflowing, they haven't taken time to empty them yet, take some of the stuff off the top, tie both off, go ahead and throw them in your vehicle or take them over to the dumpster and put a fresh one in. Just be a good steward. Then I have 2 larger packs in here. This one is cleaning materials, and I'll show you that one up close. And then a toolkit, and I'll show you that one up close. And here's what I keep in the other pistol case that came with the range bag. This one was identified by a piece of yellow tape, and this is my field cleaning kit. I prefer to do my cleaning at home where I've got my comprehensive kit when I actually clean guns, which isn't as often as I should. And because I sometimes neglect my guns, the issues appear when I'm in a class. So this just keeps my gun running when I'm out and about. If you want to see a video of what all is in my comprehensive at-home gun cleaning kit, then check out that video. We did a review on that too. So first, let's open this up. On this side, I have all my liquids and solvents. I've got some Slip 2000. I've got Lucas gun oil. This is some Hoppe's number 9, and then some Strike Hold CLP. Over here, I've got Q-tips. I keep them in this travel container that I kind of found in the travel section of a Walmart, just because it keeps the ends nice and from getting all fuzzy. Rags. This is a pistol cleaning kit that came with a gun from Smith & Wesson. First, I just keep some extra Slip 2000 wipes in there to keep the outside of the guns nice and protected. 2-piece sectional rods, some cleaning patches. It has in 22, 9, 40, and 45 both a bronze brush and a rounded jag, 2 patch holder jags, a pick, and a brush. And then over here, a Real Avid AR cleaning set, 7-piece sectional rod, some cleaning mops. There's the handle and a chamber flag. I've got a chamber brush, a bore brush, a pick that will attach to the handle, another pick, and a brush for that as well, and then extra patches. And in the back of here, I just keep an extra rag so that I either have a clean work surface or I just need to wipe something down. And here's what I keep in that tool bag. First, just a few chamber flags. Occasionally they become necessary because someone makes you nervous, or some places that's just a rule that they want to see that when you're using it. I have a shotgun choke tool for multiple gauges. A Leopold T15 bit driver. It just seems to be the most common bit size that I see on optics mounting, so I leave it in here. A paint can key for ripping on stuck AR bolts and bolt carriers. I keep a lighter because sometimes fiber optics just start working loose and you melt the ends, and that helps. For just general purposes, including working on target stands, nice adjustable wrench. I keep some double-sided Velcro just in case I need to repair something like side saddle holders on a shotgun. An AR front sight tool that's double-ended, an extension for a bit driver, some small zip ties. I mainly use those for cable management when people have tape switches for rifle lights. Some Kevlar cordage. Sometimes I just need to pull on something. If I'm teaching a low light class, I might put one of those tent stakes out on the ground in front of me on the left side of the range, and then I'll run some of that cord through it and then out to the right side of the range and tie a flare to it for a nighttime class, light the flare, and then I'll pull it towards me so that it's now moving over and left, and I can stay well behind the firing line while their light source is changing. So that's just one thing I use that for. I've got some inner tube in case I need to make a Ranger band. I've got star keys, standard and metric Allen keys. This is a Real Avid Glock tool. And then I have a bit driver with a whole bunch of bits, and I never can seem to keep them all. Now the big section up top. It's time for the big reveal. What do you think I have inside? Want to give your guesses? It's nothing. There's nothing in here except an index card. What you're doing drives what's going to be in here. If I'm taking a shotgun class, it's got shotgun ammo. Rifle class, rifle mags. Handgun class, handgun magazines and spare holsters and magazine carriers. So it's going to change time to time. It's a very big area, but I wanted to give you all some nice American units of measurement on how to judge the size. That included, it'll hold 25 boxes of 50 rounds of 9mm, 45 boxes of 20 rounds of 2223 or 5.56, 26 standard capacity AR magazines, 81 double stack pistol mags, the smallest being SIG 229, the biggest being Glock 21. And while those are great units of American measurement, I decided to do an example of a setup for how would I actually take it to a class. And I just picked a low light shooting class. So I had a spare pistol in a holster, an extra double mag carrier, 3 flashlights, one with a belt holder, 600 rounds of 9mm ammunition, a headlamp, and some snacks. So that's an idea of what all stays in the top. I didn't go into any detail on what I keep in the trauma kit that rides on the bag. If you're interested in what's in that, let me know. I can definitely make several trauma kit videos for you based off other kits I have as well. I'm going to film a large truck medical bag with trauma and first aid supplies that rides in my personal vehicle. And if you're interested in seeing that, that's on this channel as well. We'll be releasing it if it isn't released already. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I hope you've learned what can help set you up for success on the range, and I hope you're as prepared as you can be. Some links will be in the description below, including that chalkless discount, so that way you can save a little money on that. This has been Humble Shooting and Outdoors range bag review and breakdown. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. And until next time, I'm John. Stay humble.